Exodus chapter 27. Wa'ashita et hamidbeh ashe shittim. And thou shalt effectuate the altar of woods of acacia or shittim. Chamesh hamot ork وخامش hamot rohab ravu ayhya hamidbeh وثالوث hamot qomato. 5 cubits its length, and 5 cubits its breadth. It shall be square, the altar. The altar shall be square, and 3 cubits its height. وعشيتا قرنوتايو على هربع بنوتايو ممنو تهينا قرنوتايو. And thou shalt effectuate its horns upon the 4 of its corners. From it its horns shall be. With Thipita hoto nohoshet, and thou shalt overlay it with bronze or brass. Wa'ashita sirotayu ledashno, and thou shalt make its pots to ash it. That means to take away its ashes. Wa'ayu, and its shovels ومزرقوطايو, and its sprinkling bowls. ومزغلوطايو, مزلغوطايو, and its 3-pronged forks. ومحطوطايو, and its fire pans. لكل كيلايو تعشى نحوشت, for all its instruments or vessels thou shalt effectuate brass. Wa'ashita lo michabar, and thou shalt make for it a grating. Ma'ashe reshet nohoshet, a work of a net of brass. Wa'ashita al hareshet arba'at طبقات نحشت على 4 قشوطايو, and thou shalt effectuate upon the network 4 rings of brass upon the 4 of its corners. ونططاوطاه تحت كركب hamidbeh milamata, and thou shalt give it under the rim of the altar from beneath. Wahayata hareshet ad hathia hamidbeh, and the network shall be as far as half of the altar. Wa'ashita vadim lamidbeh, and thou shalt effectuate staves for the altar. Badeh ashe shittim, staves of timber of shittim. With zipita otam nohoshet, and thou shalt overlay them brass with brass. Uhuva et vadau batabaot, and the staves shall be brought into the rings. Wahayu habadim al-thate talaot hamidbeh bishet oto, and the staves shall be upon the 2 of the sides of the altar in the lifting of it. Nuvubeluhod Tasheoto. Hollow of planks. Thou shalt effectuate it. Katrhera Otaka Bahar Kenayashu. As it was showed to thee in the mountain, thus they shall make it, they shall effectuate it. Wa'ashita et hasar hamishkan, and thou shalt effectuate the court of the tabernacle. Lifat negb temana qalaim lehaser shesh moshazar me'abahamaork lapeahad. For the edge opposite the south, or southward, sorry. For the edge of the southward, hangings for the court, twisted linen, 100 by the cubit, its length. For the edge, for the one edge. Wa'amudau esharim, and its pillars 20. Wa'adnehem esharim nohoshet, and their sockets 20 of bronze. Wa'weha amudim wahashuqehem kasif. Hooks of the pillars, and their fillets, silver. Weken lifat stafon baorch, qalaim mehaorch. And thus for the north edge, by the length, hangings 100 in length. Wa'amudai wa'eshrim wa'adnehem eshrim nohoshet. Wa'weha amudim wa'ashuqehem kasif. And its pillars 20, and their sockets 20 of bronze. And the hooks of the pillars, and their fillets of silver. وَالرُّحَبْ هَثَير لِفَاتِ يام قَلَائِم خَمِشِيم أَمَّا. And the breadth of the court for the edge westward, hangings 50 cubits. عمودهم عشرة وأذنهم عشرة. Their pillars 10, and their bases 10. والرحب حاثر لفات قدمه مزراح خمشيم هما. And the breadth of the court for the edge eastward toward the east or sunrise, 50 cubits. وخمس عشر هما قلائم لكاتف, and 15 cubits of hangings for the shoulder. عمودهم ثلاثة وأذنهم ثلاثة. Their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. وَلَكَاتِفْ هَثِنِيث, and for the second shoulder, خَمِسْ عَشْرِ قَلَائِم, 15 of hangings. عَمُودِهِمْ ثُلُوثًا وَأَذْنِهِمْ ثُلُوثًا. Their pillars 3, and their bases 3. Sorry, their sockets 3. Ulthar hehater masaka esherim amma. And for the gate of the court, a covering or screen of 20 cubits. Tukhalat waharagamar watolat shani washesh moshazar. Ma'asherokem. Blue and purple and worm of scarlet and twisted linen, a work of a variegator or one combining threads of different colors. Amudehem arba'a. Their pillars 4. Wadanehem arba'a. And their sockets 4. Kol amudeha ser sabib muhushaqim kasab. All the pillars of the court round about are ones filleted of silver. Wawehem kasab, their hooks silver. Wadanehem nahoshet, and their sockets bronze or brass. Orkahehather mehabama, the length of the court 100 by the cubit. Warohab chamishim bachamishim, and the width or breadth 50 by the 50. Waqoma hameshahamot shesh moshazar, and its height 5 cubits of twisted linen. Wahadanehem nahoshet, and their sockets of brass. L'kol kaleham mishkan, for all the vessels of the tabernacle. B'kol avodato, for all its work. B'kol yetedotai, b'kol yetedot hehaser nahoshet, and all its pins, and the pins of the court, bronze. V'ata tesaweh et b'nei Yisrael, and thou shalt command the sons of Yisrael. V'yikahu heleka shem nezayit zak katit lamaor, and they shall take to thee oil of olive, pure, beaten, for the lamp or the light. L'ha'alot ner tamid, to make a lamp to go up continually. Bo'hel mo'ed mihut la paroket atra al ha'edut ya'arok hoto Aharon w'banai me'erb ad boker lifnei Yahweh. In the tent of the appointment, in the tent of appointment, from outside to the veil, from outside to the veil, which is over the testimony, Aharon shall array it, Aharon and his sons, from Gharb evening, as far as Boker morning, before Yahweh. Hukkat olam ledorotam met b'nei Yisrael, a statute of unseen time for their generations from the sons of Yisrael.